Hi, hello, my dear children. Stay safe, stay home. Today we are going to continue the quadratic equation, chapter 4. Today we are going to learn about the solutions of quadratic equation. Okay, for finding the solution of a quadratic equation, we use three methods. One is factorization method, completing the square method and quadratic formula. But this year, this completing the square method is eliminated from your syllabus. So only two methods we are going to learn. One is factorization, another is quadratic formula. Okay, and first let us see what is factorization. See, we are going to factorize by splitting the middle term. In 9th standard itself, you may have studied about factorizing a quadratic polynomial into linear polynomials. What is the meaning of factorizing a quadratic polynomial? Writing a quadratic polynomial as a product of two linear polynomials. Okay, already you have studied 9th standard. And we are going to recall that, and then we are going to apply that here. Okay, so for that we have to use splitting the middle term. What is the meaning of splitting the middle term? And before learning about splitting the middle term, let us see what is the solution of a quadratic equation. What is the meaning of solution of quadratic equation? Okay, you have studied about zeros of the polynomial in 9th standard, isn't it? What's the meaning of zeros of a quadratic polynomial? You have studied about zero of a linear polynomial, zeros of a quadratic polynomial, isn't it? The same way, what is the meaning of zero? The zero of a quadratic polynomial is the value of the variable involved in that polynomial, which makes the value of the polynomial as 0. That means, suppose you are given a quadratic polynomial x squared minus 3x plus 2. So what is the 0 of this polynomial? Suppose you put 1 for x, 1 squared minus 3 plus 2. That is 1 square is 1, 1 plus 2 3. That is 3 minus 3, 0. So what is the value? 1 is the value of x we gave. X is equal to 1. So when you are substituting in the place of x as 1, we are getting 0. Therefore 1 is a 0 of the polynomial. Isn't it? In the same way, here we are going to the same. This is the same as the solution of a quadratic equation also. But here we won't use the term 0 of the quadratic equation, because here that value of x should satisfy the quadratic equation. What is the meaning of satisfying a quadratic equation? The same thing. X squared minus 3x plus 2 is equal to 0. Now this is a quadratic equation. First we wrote only quadratic polynomial. Here it's a quadratic equation. So the value of x should satisfy the equation. That means what? It has left hand side and right hand side. Okay, when you substitute the value of x in the particular equation, both sides should have the same value. You have 0 in the right hand side. The same way you should have 0 in the left hand side also. That is the meaning of satisfying the quadratic equation. That in the quadratic polynomial it is making the value of the polynomial as 0, but here it is satisfying the equation. Therefore we won't use the term 0 for quadratic equation. Instead of that, we will be using solution of quadratic equation or roots of quadratic equation. Have you understood why are we using roots for quadratic equation and roots are solution for quadratic equation and zeros of quadratic polynomial? So whenever you are doing sums on polynomials, you should not use the word roots or solution. You would use only 0. Whenever you are doing sums is quadratic equation, you have to write only roots of this equation or solutions of the equation. Have you understood clearly? Now, you have understood what is a solution. Now, let us how to find the solution now. Okay, so let us first do by trial and error method as you did in 9th standard. Let us recall that. So first we put what? X is equal to 1. So 1 squared minus 3 into 1 plus 2 is equal to, this is, you should not put the equal, this is left hand side. So 1 squared is what? 1 minus 3 plus 2. What is 2 plus 1? 3. 3 minus 3 is 0. Okay. Now next you put 2. X is equal to 2. So 2 squared minus 3 into 2 plus 2. This is LHS. 4 minus 6 plus 2. So 4 plus 2 6. 6 minus 6 is 0. So this is equal to what? RHS, because RHS is also 0. Here also RHS. So these two values, x is equal to 1 and x is equal to 2, are the solutions of the equation, quadratic equation. X squared minus 3x plus 2 is equal to 0. You won't get any other value, any other number as solution of quadratic equation. Why? Because the quadratic polynomial has at most 2 zeros. The same way, the quadratic equations, a quadratic equation is also have at most 2 roots or 2 solutions. Have you understood? But we cannot use this trial and error method for all the things, isn't it? That's why we are using the 3 methods. One is factorization method, the other one is completing the square, next is quadratic formula. But completing the square is not in our syllabus for this year. Therefore, we have only 2 methods, factorization method as well as quadratic formula. And how to factorize a quadratic polynomial? By splitting the middle term. What is middle term? See, what is the standard form of a quadratic equation? Ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. And this is the first term, ax squared, and bx is the middle term, and this is the last term. Isn't it? Now we are going to split the middle term. What is the middle term? Bx into 2 parts. Okay? What are let us name the 2 parts as P and Q. Okay? Px plus Qx. This is the meaning of splitting the middle term. And with what condition you have to split? In such a way, when you multiply Px and Qx, you should get ax squared, the product of first term and the last term. In this condition only how to split. Have you understood, children? So, yes, what is the meaning of splitting the middle term? We are splitting the middle term bx into 2 parts. That is px we are taking for, we have just assumed as px and qx are the 2 parts of bx. And with what condition? With the condition that the product of this px into qx should be equal to the product of the first term and the last term. Is it clear? So we are going to use this and we are going to split the middle term. And before moving to the splitting of middle term, let us see here. That if you are thorough with this, it will be very easy for you to do the sum. Because in algebra, the signs are very important. Okay. And in a quadratic equation, the constant term will, that is when you get the product of AC x squared, what will you get? They may be positive or negative. Only the 2 possibilities. Isn't it? That is PQ. This PQ should always be, either it should be positive or negative. Okay, so this positive, here it is a product, P into Q. It's a product, or a into c x square, p into q x square. So when you are multiplying in algebra, this we are dealing with integers and the algebra, isn't it, children? So when you are multiplying two terms to get positive, what are the two conditions? Same sign. When you multiply, same sign, positive, isn't it? So there are two possibilities. What? P and Q are negative, or P and Q are positive. Have you understood? So when this PQX square is positive, this PX, it will be what? Minus PX and minus QX. Minus plus minus QX. Both will be negative. Okay, they may both be negative, or the another possibility is what? Both will be positive, isn't it? So when you are multiplying Px into Qx, when both are positive, also we are getting positive. When you multiply minus Px into minus Qx, also what do you get? Plus PQx square. Have you understood? So when the product is positive, there are two possibilities for P and Q. So if the product PQ is positive, P and Q should have same sign. Okay, so P and Q are positive. They may be, here instead of R you can take it as what? They may be positive, or P and Q may be negative. There are two chances. Okay, in the same way. Now let us move to the condition when, let's move to the situation when PQ is negative. Okay, now the PQX square is negative. What are the possibilities? So when you multiply opposite signs, you will be getting negative, isn't it? So it may be minus PQ into Q, PX into QX, minus PX into QX, or PX into minus QX. Then only you will get what? Minus PQX square minus PQX square. Okay, so either there are two, we are multiplying two terms. Among the two terms, one should be negative. Then only the product will be negative. Okay, now which number will be, when you can deal with two numbers, it's a must. One number will be greater than the other number. One will be big number, the other will be smaller number. So you will give negative to which number and positive to which number. So therefore that also, see, when the middle term is positive, suppose the middle term is positive, the big number will be positive. So let us take P as the big number and Q as the small number. Okay, so Px will be positive and Qx will be negative. Have you understood? When PQX square is not PQX square, when on this, yeah, when the middle term is positive, let us take, let Px be the big number. Big number as Px, P, and the small number as Q or Qx. So when you add both, splitting means what? You are dividing into two parts, and when you add, you should get the middle term, isn't it? So when you are adding, you will get the answer will be positive. More positives, less negatives, isn't it? The same way, suppose the middle term is negative. Come on, say, yeah, the big number Px will be is negative and the small number qx will be positive. So when you multiply, you will get the product as negative. When you add, why are we adding? Because the middle term is divided into two parts, not equal parts, two parts. That's all. We are splitting them. Splitting them means what? We are dividing it into two parts. Okay, so when you are adding, big number is negative. So the answer will be negative. As a result, the middle term will be negative. So this is the basic you have studied in 9th standard that we have just recalled to use in this factorization method. So that's why I written here, if the product is negative, P and Q should have different signs. If the sum is positive, here sum means what? The middle term. If the middle term is positive, greater number should be positive and smaller number should be negative. In the same way, here also sum means what? The middle term. If the middle term is negative, then what? Greater number should be negative and smaller number should be positive. Is it clear how to select the sign for P and Q? Now we'll move using this. We'll move to the example sums. So I am going to do 4 sums as small simple examples. See here. This is positive. Here also positive. Positive into positive, the product will be positive. And here also positive. Positive into positive, product also positive. But see the sum, it is positive. See the sum here, it is negative. So, here P and Q will be positive. Here P and Q will be negative. Isn't it? We are going to split this positive 5x into 2 parts. So when you add positive and positive, the product should be positive. So both the 2 parts should have the same sign. So but here the middle term is positive. So to get positive as the middle term, what should you do? You should take both P and Q as positive. But here see, it is negative. And the product should be positive. So you should give for Px and Qx negative. When you add both, you will be getting negative middle term. When you multiply, you will get positive. And here also see negative. So negative into positive, product is negative. So what should you do? See the middle term. The sign of middle term is positive. Okay. So when you add both, you should get the answer as positive. So for that, the big number should be positive. Okay. And smaller number should be negative. So we have considered as Px as big number. So Px will be positive, Qx will be negative. And the same way here also, here we have minus. That is so, the Px will be, the big number Px will be negative and the small number Qx will be positive. Have you understood, children? That's why I am going to do these 4 simple sums to recall factorization what you have done in 9th standard. Okay. Now first question is what? X squared plus 5x plus 6 is equal to 0. Okay. Now we just do this splitting thing in the rough column. So Px, now you know both are PQ is positive. So P and Q will be positive, isn't it? So what is PQ? Px plus Qx is equal to 5x. And PQ, the product is equal to what? 6 into 1. 6x squared. Okay, now we just draw like this. Here you write the product plus 6x squared. And here you write P, big number, and Q, the small number. Okay, now see, and here you write the sum. Px plus Qx. So what is the middle term here? Px plus Qx is plus 5x. Okay, so now you have to select the sign of P and Q. What sign? Here when you multiply you have to get positive, when you add you have to get positive. Therefore big number and small number are, this is big number and this is small number. Both should be positive. You have selected the sign. Now we will move to the numbers. What are the values of P and Q? For that you take the products, the coefficient of 6 product, that is 6. And you have to write the factors of 6. Okay, 1 into 6. So here same sign means what? You will add and write the same sign. So when you add both, 1 plus 6 you are getting 7. But we don't want, we want only 5x. So you move to the other factors. 2 into 3 is also 6. Now add this 2 plus 3, 5. Yeah, we got the value of P and Q. Okay, so this is 3x and this is 2x. Is it clear? Now we just write the equation with splitting the middle term. So instead of 5x, what will you write? Instead of this 5x, we will be writing this what? Plus 3x plus 2x. Is it clear? Plus 6 equal to 0. Okay, now what is common in this? Number, the coefficient is 1, here 3. So no numerical coefficient is common. Therefore, you move to the variable. Here x squared means x into x, here x. So both terms, x is common. So you take common term outside. That means what? You are dividing from this only. We are grouping into this. And then we are going to group this. Okay, so from this you take outside. That means what? You are taking the common factor out. That means what? You are dividing each term by x. So when you divide x squared by x, x will be left. X will be the quotient. And when you divide 3x by x, 3 will be the. So x plus 3. Are you getting? Next, you should write this sign. This is very important. Okay, you are not writing into factors now because we didn't get that. So we are going to get the linear factors. So before that you should not leave this sign. Plus. Now what is common here? Here it is 2, here it is 6. So both have the common factors 2. So you take 2 outside. So when you divide 2x by 2, it will be x. And when you divide 6 by 2, it will be 3. Is it clear? Now observe this. What is common? Yeah. X plus 3, x plus 3. So you take that out. That means you are going to divide both by x plus 3. So when you divide x by x plus 3, this will get cancelled. So x plus 3 into, what will be left? Only x will be left. Now you can write, okay, because the common term you have taken out, plus, and here also when you divide, you will be getting 2, that is equal to 0. Okay, now when you are multiplying two numbers, let us take A and B, and we have to get the product as 0. Here we have divided this left hand side. Left hand side is a quadratic polynomial. Right hand side is 0. Both are connected by equal sign to get the quadratic equation. So when you, that is here we have factorized the linear polynomial in the left hand side. Sorry, factorize the quadratic polynomial in the left hand side into x plus 3 into x plus 2. Okay, and now that means you are multiplying x plus 3 into x plus 2 is 2. When you multiply these two, you have to get the answer as 0. So now if you are multiplying A and B and to get 0, what's the condition? Any one number should be 0. Either A should be 0 or B should be 0. Then only the product will be 0. 0 into anything is 0. Isn't it? So if some, that is A may be equal to 0 or B may be equal to 0. Okay, when A is 0, 0 into B is also 0. When B is 0, A into 0 is also 0. So, instead of A and B, we have x plus 3 into x plus 2. So, among the two, any one should be 0. Then only the product will be 0. So, here, two conditions. Either x plus 3 is equal to 0 or x plus 2 is equal to 0. Okay, so when x plus 3 is 0, what will be the value of x? X is equal to minus 3. And here again, when x plus 2 is equal to 0, x is equal to minus 2. So now we got the solution or roots of the quadratic equation. You can verify whether your answer is correct or not. Okay, I'll teach you how to verify. So for the other sums, you can do the verification by yourself. Okay, now see here, what is the quadratic equation? X squared plus 5x plus 6. This is the LHS. So instead of what, you have to put minus 3 the whole square plus 5 into minus 3 plus 6. So first we are verifying with the value minus 3. So what do you get here? Minus 3 into minus 3 is 9. Minus 15. Plus into minus 15 plus 6. Add both. 15 minus 15, 0. So our answer is correct. Now check with the other one. So minus 2 the whole square plus 5 into minus 2 plus 6 is equal to minus 2 the whole square is what? 4. 4 plus into minus 10 plus 6. So 6 plus 4, 10, 10 minus 10, 0. So our answer both are correct. Is it clear how to verify? Like this you can verify and check whether your answers, solutions are correct. Now, children, this step is very important. Which steps? This equal to 0. This step is very important. And in the same way, these two steps are also very important. Marks will be allotted for these two steps. Okay. Suppose this comes under 3 marks, 1 mark will be allotted for this. Because for all doing this calculation, getting this 1 mark. And for this, also 1 mark. Half, half. And then for writing the answer. And when you are writing the answer, you should be very careful. Some children, they may write solution set. Set is minus 3 comma minus 2. No, it's wrong. It's wrong. You will be reduced. The marks will be reduced for this. Okay, you should not write the answer like this. You have to write the answer as x is equal to minus 3 and x is equal to minus 2 or the solutions. Instead of solutions, you can write roots of the quadratic equation. Have you understood, children? These steps are very, very important. 1, 2 and this 3. All these